morning. Great to be back in New York, and I will attend this meeting here, of course, where we will be discussing the situation in North Korea. And then this afternoon there is an area meeting on climate and security, and that's also a very important topic. But of course, this remains highest up on the agenda of the Security Council, the situation in North Korea. And this constitutes today the greatest threat to international peace and security that we know of, and all eyes are on the situation in North Korea. And luckily, there is international consensus, and it has been established in, 16 meetings in the Security Council. And that is, of course, a great asset when it comes to the nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles programs by North Korea. And it is important that we continue to stand united on these issues. The sanctions regime is by now the toughest that we've ever had. And the implementation is key, and we have to continue to push for full implementation of the sanctions regime. And we also we all understand that there is no military solution to this, but we need to make intensified diplomatic efforts as well to establish a dialogue. And we need to exhaust actually every avenue of diplomacy and politics to establish a dialogue, and we will remain actively engaged in these efforts. So that is, and maybe if I say something also on the climate and security agenda, and we had a seminar also in Stockholm the other day with experts telling us that if you saw that YouTube clip with the starving polar bear, this is just the beginning of what we unfortunately will see. And first of all, we will notice it in the Arctic region. It is very much the test for all our efforts, but we can increasingly see that there is a link between climate change and how it drives conflict. And of course, it's a risk of becoming a threat to international peace and security. We need to understand and respond to these climate threats. And also we need to fill our gap or understanding of this issue. We need to create an institutional home for these issues in the United Nations. We need to report from the field on these issues as well. And this, I hope, will be discussed this afternoon, so it's an important one. And finally, what happened last night in Sweden? Well, I can say what happened earlier today in Sweden is that we actually approved the 2018 development cooperation budget. This will be Sweden's largest ever development budget, $6 billion. And it means also that we are reaching the target of 1% of GNI to ODA. And that means also we are actually, in fact, the largest donor to also all New York-based UN agencies, and we are proud of that. We think that this will also contribute to peace and security in the world.
Minister, I have a question on another country in the region, Myanmar. You're probably aware that 2 lawyers journalists were 3 days ago, and we have not heard from them since. What would you like to say to the Myanmar government?
This is very serious. I recently visited Myanmar and also Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh to see the situation there. This is not helpful. This is a threat to a democratic and peaceful development also in Myanmar and that region. We do not accept that journalists are attacked or simply kidnapped or that they disappear. And I've already tweeted about that this morning. So we continue also to fight for media freedom and the freedom of speech. And to be able to send journalists to this particular area is of crucial importance.
Could you comment on the...
Wait.
On North Korea, what action can we expect from the Council considering concerns about humanitarian implications of the sanctions regime?
Well, this is, of course, one point that has to be mentioned today as well. It is not the North Korean people that we want to attack or that we want to criticize. And we need to make sure also that humanitarian assistance can need those North Koreans in need of help and assistance. So that has to be one point. And also this will be a chance, of course, to talk directly also to the North Korean ambassador, which is a good thing that he is present here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Could you comment? Could you comment on the recent attack on the synagogue in Sweden and other calls for violence by jihadists? And do you see a relationship between that and Sweden's, at least in the past, relatively liberal policies of admitting refugees and migrants?
There can never be any excuses for violent acts of this kind. It has to be condemned, and we have done so immediately. We have to, all over the world, do much more when it comes to fighting anti-Semitism. And we are intensifying all our efforts. First of all, to ensure that there is security for the whole Jewish population in Sweden. And we'll do more with the police, with the security police, with everyone that is a partner in all of this, and with all the local municipalities as well. And we will continue our fight against anti-Semitism. No excuses whatsoever for these kind of horrible and deplorable attacks that we condemn. Thank you.
Thank you so much.